You know, some people they want to watch TV shows just to relax. They want something light, something easy. It's kind of a background noise for them. But then there are people like me and my audience. We are the ones who can't get enough of mystery, intricate puzzles and deep existential questions. The ones who obsess over every clue, analyze every hidden detail and crave stories that challenge our perception of reality. If you're here, chances are you're one of those people. You probably love Lost. You've dissected every episode of Severance, you've debated the hidden layers of Dark, and you still can't stop thinking about the mysteries of Wayward Pines or From. If that's you, then there's something very specific about how your brain works, something that's called a need for cognition, or as we say it in short, NFC. It's actually a psychological trait that describes how much a person enjoys effortful thinking. Some people get bored by complex narratives, but people with high NFC actually seek them out. We love solving mysteries, connecting dots, unraveling hidden meanings. High NFC people are the ones who don't just watch a show, we experience it. We pause episodes to analyze details, we go down the rabbit holes of fan theories, we watch explaining videos, because for us a great story isn't just entertainment, it's a mental challenge. And this brings me to something you guys kept recommending to me, a Netflix series called AliceInBorderland. So I gave it a chance. And now let's talk about why you might want to do the same. You see, at its core, AliceInBorderland is a psychological survival thriller. The story follows Arisu, a directionless young man obsessed with video games, and his two best friends. One moment they're in the middle of Tokyo's busiest intersection, and the next the entire city is completely empty. No people, no sounds, complete silence. Then they discover the truth. Tokyo isn't abandoned, it's been transformed into a deadly battleground where they must compete in a sadistic life or death games. Kinda sounds like Squid Games, but you know, in my opinion, better. Each game is classified by a playing card, and the suit determines what kind of challenge they're gonna face. If it's spades, it's gonna be a physical endurance. If it's clubs, it's gonna be something related to teamwork. Diamonds, logic and intelligence, and hearts is a psychological manipulation and betrayal. The goal? Obviously, survive the games, collect as many cards as possible, and maybe, just maybe, find a way back home. But here's the real hook. The mystery isn't just who created these games and why this is happening. The biggest question is, where the hell are they? Is this a parallel universe? Is it a government experiment? Is it a purgatory? Or something else entirely. And this is exactly why AliceInBorderland is perfect for an NFC audience. It's not just a survival story, it's a massive puzzle. Every clue, every game, every cryptic rule forces you to think, to question, and to, of course, as we love, to theorize. And trust me, once you start watching, you won't be able to stop. You see, AliceInBorderland didn't start just as a Netflix series. It's not exactly an original story. It began as a manga, written and illustrated by Haro Aso. First, it was published in 2010, and the manga ran for 64 chapters and quickly gained a cult following. Unlike many shonen survival stories, AliceInBorderland wasn't just about action, it was psychological, strategic, and deeply existential. The story was heavily influenced by Lewis Carroll's Alice Adventures in Wonderland, hence the name AliceInBorderland, and also the name of the main hero is Arisu, which sounds very similar to Alice. But instead of a whimsical dream world, this is a brutal, twisted nightmare. As the manga grew in popularity, it was adapted into an anime OVA, original video animation if you're not familiar with the term, in 2014, but it was the Netflix live-action series in 2020 that finally brought it to the mainstream audiences worldwide. Why did Netflix adapt it? Because this is the kind of a high-stakes, mind-bending storytelling that thrives in the era of binge-watching. With the success of series like Squid Games, Dark, and The 3%, it was clear the audience loves survival thrillers with a strong mystery element. Now, the reason why you might love AliceInBorderland, except of course the reason of it being a very good TV show for NFC audience, is actually it has a very intriguing setting. Like, the show fully commits to its world. The empty Tokyo streets, the massive game arenas, the constant sense of dread, it's immersive, it's unsettling. You will feel like you are there with the heroes. Of course, it's gonna keep you hooked. Now, the characters, from Arisu's emotional journey to the unforgettable supporting cast, you will find yourself deeply invested with a lot of different, especially side characters. Some will haunt you long after the credits roll. Since it's an Asian, Japanese creation, contrary to the West popular TV shows where characters most of the time are more grounded and more realistic, anime and Japanese characters, a lot of time they are bigger than life itself. Their characteristics are so strong, there's absolutely no chance that they're gonna go by you unnoticed. And even though I'm not a big fan, sometimes I do love a good love story. And yeah, it's a brutal survival game, but at its heart, Alice in Borderland also tells us a deeply emotional love story between the two main heroes. It's not just about winning and losing, it's about finding something worth fighting for. And honestly, some of the scenes were so beautiful that once again they're still with me even after I finished watching the first 2 seasons. Now obviously I cannot just give you reasons why you might like this TV show, because there's also reasons why you might not like it, and they kinda similar. Because once again, let's be honest, Alice in Borderland isn't for everyone. And if you're not familiar with Japanese storytelling techniques, some things might take some getting used to. For example, it feels like a live-action anime sometimes. The expressions, the dialogue, the over-the-top emotions, they can feel a little bit exaggerated if you're not used to this kind of style of storytelling. Now, action sequences also can be sometimes very unbelievable. This is not a show that is grounded in full realism. Some moments can feel like video game logic and, like anime logic, where characters pull off absolutely impossible feats. And of course, it's brutal. The show doesn't hold back. If you're not a fan of dark, intense, often disturbing narratives with a lot of death and absolutely nobody is safe or has a plot armor, maybe just, the main heroes, now this TV show might not be for you. Now, what's interesting also is that the original manga is actually ending with season 2, and right now we just have the 2 seasons. But I'm pretty happy that we also gonna get in 2025 season 3, and this is gonna be already a new original story, a continuation of the first 2 seasons, and I'm pretty happy, even though many fans were kinda, satisfied with the ending of season 2, which answered a lot of the fan questions, but there were also some unanswered ones, and I really wanna get an answer. If you like me and you don't want to leave anything to your imagination and fantasy, you would love and you will be happy as I am that we're gonna get season 3, and hopefully it's not gonna be a letdown and it's gonna bring us the same level of storytelling. Even though it's already not gonna be an adaptation, it's gonna be a free fall for the creators with the new story. So to summarize, I obviously cannot guarantee that you will love Alice in Borderland, because we're all kinda different and some things that I like maybe you won't like. But if you consider yourself an NFC thinker, if you love stories that make you question everything, if you crave mystery, tension and the thrill of the unknown, then you owe it to yourself to at least give it a chance. Because in the end, the best stories, the one we obsess over, are the ones that stay with us as long after they're over. Well, if you're still watching this video, I don't know what you're doing, go ahead and check the first episode and then come back here and let me know in the comments what do you think. Thank you so much for this video. As usual, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon and on YouTube. Your financial support makes this channel possible, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Meanwhile, bye!